Go.
I'm sorry, you texting?
Okay. No, I just have the questions here.
Okay.
Hi Max.
Hello.
And welcome to Dubai. And it's really cool that a screenwriter is at the where there's already artists and celebs.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. What do you think about that?
I think it's extremely cool. I'm surprised and delighted by the amount of people who've wanted to talk to me. Yeah. It's exciting because as a screenwriter you don't. I always use the term you don't have a face.
Yeah.
And I really would like to have a face because I like my face.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be up there with actors. You know, it's a nice feeling. But you know, they're so used to being in front of camera, and I'm just sort of this like very hyper guy.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "You don't write comedies?" It's rough. It's an interesting place to be.
Yeah. I really like Chronicle, and I think it was a really wonderful movie because.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the audiences of course embraced it a lot, and especially critics because they usually look upon the genre a little bit. So what do you make of the reaction for the movie? Were you surprised or?
Chronicle is, you say they look down upon the genre, but Chronicle is not an execution in the way it's acted, in the way it's directed, in the way it was written, in the way it was conceived, a superhero movie. It's much closer to something like Carrie. It's much more a character-driven story where the world isn't threatened. You know, no one puts on a cape. It's about people. And I think everyone kind of walked into it waiting for the cape. And when the cape didn't come, I think everyone was pretty relieved. And they were very surprised by what they were seeing because it wasn't what they'd come to expect from a movie like that. Instead, it was something a little more sort of punchy in the chest. And you know, it's a sad movie. It's a tragedy. Chronicle is functionally a tragedy. And you know, I'm surprised is the wrong word for the reaction it got. Delighted and thrilled and exhilarated, and you know, really restores your faith in the audience like that you're writing for. It was a great feeling. But I sort of knew, you know, I am who I was writing it for, and I know there's a lot of people who like what I like. So
yeah. The way the studio marketed the movie was like a superhero movie, though. So were you? The
way the studio marketed the movie was actually bizarre because there were no posters really.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It was all YouTube because it is sort of YouTube the movie, and yeah, they marketed it. It was very funny because I was in a meeting where they were talking about how they marketed it, which was basically a little bit like a superhero movie, but also sort of a mystery box movie. Like, okay, they're doing pranks. Wait, what the hell happened? Go see Chronicle.
Yes.
And I was like, and which is exactly the right way to do it.
Yeah, true.
And you know, true, yeah. All credit to Fox.
Yeah. I mean, I think many people call it a Cloverfield of this year. Would you agree with that?
No, I would not.
Yeah.
I would very much disagree with that. Cloverfield and Chronicle couldn't be more different, other than the found footage. Cloverfield follows every rule of found footage. Chronicle breaks every rule of found footage, and of course they aren't spoken rules, but here are the found footage rules. Takes place over a limited span of time, like 4 or 5 hours. Person behind the camera is not a main character. Person behind the camera isn't really important. I mean, Paranormal Activity sort of breaks that, but Paranormal Activity is only sort of found footage. It's more of an experiment in storytelling than it is a found footage movie. And then at the end, the camera is dropped.
Yeah.
And that none of those things happen in Chronicle, because Chronicle isn't. Small spoiler: the movie you saw, Chronicle, in the sequel is a thing.
Oh, okay.
So that edited footage is a thing. So again, it's not like we found this footage after all these kids died.
Yeah.
You can't deny cars being thrown in the air in Seattle. You saw all those helicopters. The world changed. That's the end of Chronicle. Is things are going to be different now. They can't possibly cover up what happened. And that's what makes it sort of not a found footage movie. That's what kind of makes it a superhero movie.
Okay. And I mean, when you were writing the script, were you writing it in mind that you're going to make it a found footage movie, or were you writing it?
100%.
Okay. Because I mean, one thing I really noticed is that it used found footage in a very innovative way, especially with the way that
the floating camera.
Yeah, that was really.
Yeah, when we came up with that, it was like yes.
Yeah, because you know, that allowed for long dialogue scenes without it seeming like someone is just holding the camera. Like the camera could move around the scene a lot. That was really cool.
Yeah, we got a version of that in 2. That's also pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah. And I mean, you guys even kept it very authentic because I've seen a lot of found footage movies. By the end of it, they kind of just play around with it and like they just forget the fact.
I hate that.
Yeah.
There's only a second of that in Chronicle. The close-ups at the end.
Yeah.
But other than that, the whole movie, we were very dogma. You know, we were very dogma about it. We were very like, this is a found footage movie. This is all real.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a shot, it has to have a source.
Exactly. Yeah. That was one thing I noticed. Like even iPads and mobile phones, there was always a source at any point in the movie, especially during the action scene towards the end.
Oh, at the end, everybody's like, "What the shit?" You know, like. And what's funny is that, you know, if you look hard enough, Josh is such a good director that if you look hard enough, you can always see where the next angle is going to come from.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
Speaking of Josh, how was the relationship with Josh when making the movie? Like, did he develop the idea with you together? Or?
Josh had the idea sort of to do a movie or not a movie, to do viral videos, like a web series about kids doing pranks with telekinesis.
Okay.
And then one of them gets hit by a plane, and then the other one, the remaining kid, goes bad.
Okay.
And I kind of went, no, I wanted to do something bigger, and so I pitched, like, first of all, the main character is the kid who goes bad.
Okay.
And that was sort of the big thing I did. And then I kept the airplane in there as a homage to Josh, but then the rest of the story is all mine. And I came back and I sort of pitched it to him. And, you know, Josh was a first-time director, and I really just had absolute faith in him being able to tell my story. And, you know, I wrote the script alone, but when I brought it to him, he was just like, so it was very good. We were both sort of in awe of each other. And then when I saw Chronicle, I was like, you did a great job! It was good.
I mean, you're already penning the sequel.
That's right.
To Chronicle. So what?
Yeah. That'll make sense
I've noticed that on your Twitter page, you're very active with people who are kind of asking you questions. And
of
stuff
course.
Like that.
Yeah. Cool. Why not? I mean, like, it's fun. You never know what the studio will make you change. Maybe I'll be the first writer of 10 on the sequel to Chronicle if they don't like my idea. But, you know, they seem to. The guy at Fox, who I work with the most, Steve Asbell, and my producer, John Davis, have been very supportive so far. So, you know, it's an artist-driven movie, Chronicle. It's not a studio-driven movie. It's from me and Josh. So, we'll see. I'm very excited about the sequel. I just wrote a real cool scene this morning where I'm not gonna say.
Almost, yeah. Will Josh? Are you expecting Josh to come back to direct the movie?
Probably not. Josh is all over the place with other projects.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm also all over the place with other projects, but Chronicle is my baby. Josh will probably be involved in some respect, but right now I just want to get the script done, and then then I'll text Josh and I'll be like, hey, you want to direct a movie? And he'll be like, I don't know. So he'll be like, I don't know. That's Josh. That's my impression of Josh. Is a guy with his eyes kind of mostly closed. And then leans forward and is very intense. You need to listen to me, Josh Shark.
When you were scripting it, what were the influences on the like what kind of things did you grow up with that you kind of?
What are you kidding?
Yeah.
Akira, X-Men, Stand By Me, Stephen King really is it. I mean, if you want to talk what Chronicle really is it's a Stephen King story.
Yeah.
It's a character-driven story where things go progressively more crazy.
Yeah.
And you know, Stephen King has a fascinating way of taking magical realism and making it do whatever it wants in your head. I mean, he can make a hedge animal the most terrifying thing in The Shining. And you know, Stanley Kubrick couldn't do that, and that's why it's not in the movie. But he's brilliant, and I really all hail Stephen King. Stephen King uber alles, Stephen King forever.
Yeah, even I'm a fan of Stephen King.
Yeah, he's the one.
He's amazing.
Neo.
And I mean, there's also a script of yours called Good Time Gang.
Yeah, Good Time Gang! Woo!
Jonah Hill and Mark Wahlberg.
Mark and Chris Evans.
Okay.
It's coming together slowly but surely. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like. Is it a director yet, or are you guys just like the?
No, it has a director. It's all my scripts are written.
Okay.
It's about the hard partying children of the world's most successful mercenaries. So you know those kids who their dad owns a club, or if their dad's like a big oil guy around here, and they just drink and party all the time and don't give a shit. Yeah. It's those, but of the most dangerous people on earth, who are super rich, and it's pretty fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I really am proud of it, and Jonah really gets it, and the cast really gets it, and I'm just excited.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And another thing, I watched The Death and Return of Superman. That was awesome.
Thank you for watching.
That was really cool. I really like the way that you told the story. Was that actually? Were you actually drunk in the on the?
I'm not drunk. There is one called Drunk Comic Book History: The Robins,
Yeah, yeah.
where I am plastered. I was incoherent, and I get most of it right, not all of it.
Yeah.
But no, Superman, I don't need to be drunk because it's already so retarded. I am drinking. By the end of it, I'm a little buzzed.
Yeah.
I actually have 4 glasses of scotch, and because the original rant of me sitting there is 48 minutes long,
Oh, okay.
and we cut it down to 14 minutes. But I went through Funeral for a Friend. I went through every part of that storyline, and then we just decided to go for the highlights. I just did a Clone Saga one that's an hour and 25 minutes. I don't know if we're gonna use it. It's just too much. And I'm so angry during it. I'm like shaking with anger.
And how did you manage to get all these celebs into the thing? Because I was really surprised that Elijah Wood and Mandy Moore and people were.
They like me. I had meetings with them. I was like, "You want to be in this thing?" They were like, "Okay." Yeah. I mean, and then Simon Pegg is a friend of mine, and Ron Howard's directing one of my movies. And then everyone else, I was just sort of like, "Hey, Elijah, you like comics? You want to be in this?" And he was like, "What is it?" And I was like, "It's you in a Superman t-shirt and then naked in a washing machine going like that." He was like, "Yeah, it sounds great."
Yeah.
I was like, "Olay!" And Mandy Moore is the best because I think she's the best at voicing my or the best like that. Like she's like a Muppet. But she was great because I didn't even have to finish asking her.
Yeah.
I went, "Do you want to be in a show?" And she was like, "Yeah." We had a very fun lunch, and she was just spectacular. I wish I got to use her more. And Zach Kreger from Whitest Kids You Know, it has a lot of people in it.
It has a lot of people in it.
If you look at the credits and then Google everybody, it has a lot of people in it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know if I'd be able to get as big of a cast for the next one. I know I got Jason Segel for the next one, but I don't know. I don't know who else I would get.
So what's the next one about again?
I don't know if I'm going to do a next one.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm very busy with my real movies. There are notions, and the producer of the first one, Brian Basham, really wants me to do another one.